Hey guys, this is Fluff, and as you all know, I like to play Rubik a lot. I played this pub last night and I had a couple of thoughts about it, and I know I haven't really made any videos for my channel, so I wanted to put something out there for you guys. So right now, I'm playing 5 position Rubik here, and one of the ideas that I had was that I was just gonna skip buying a sentry altogether, pick up a TP in my starting build, and go with one branch so I can make use of my 2 tangos. I think the branch is important because getting that extra regen out of your limited regen is really beneficial to you, especially if like your other support can't give your mid tangos, or generally it's okay for you to go with two to lane. So knowing that, the branch really works out for me. And you might be asking why the TP and why not use it at the beginning, and maybe why not smoke. Well, I kind of have a thesis for myself, and really what it is that at the beginning of every game, I generally want to have a TP. It's probably the first item I pick up as a laning support, just because there's so much turn potential in pubs, especially in this kind of meta now where you see a lot of like there's an ogre and a spear breaker. You can really imagine that the lanes are going to come under heavy fire and potentially dive. So I like to have teleport on me. The risk reward is really good because it's 50 gold. It doesn't really cost much. I really feel that if I can turn a first blood and pick up a quicker boots or contribute to some kind of kill in the other lane, I'm going to get a really nice head start. That's just my thought process for it. You can experiment, but I found that I really like to buy a TP straight up because, well, and another reason is that, like, what are you actually going to spend your gold on early on? I really don't recommend picking up a stick early on a 5 position support because even if you might benefit from it, you're going to be slowed down so much. The courier is going to take a longer time to get upgraded. Your boots, which are extremely important, are going to be delayed. So like you're going to have a teleport anyway, so you might as well just have it. The other thing that I realized is that when I was playing pubs, a lot of the time I didn't need the sentry, and you know, over time it's kind of been like where you used to buy double sentry at the start because they came in a pack, and eventually when they made it so that you could buy one sentry only, people started going, hey, I can actually afford a bit more regen, pick up one sentry for myself because no one really needs it or uses it, and you kind of use it for your own safe lane. Well, what I found is that a lot of times if the lane is unbearable, I'm not even able to pull, and there are 2 camps. A lot of times the offlaners will block one camp, which is easily played around because you can, like, for example, if the small camp is blocked, you can use the hard camp, and if the hard camp is blocked, you can use the small camp. So I kind of feel like one ward of theirs is not really going to equal the lane shifting in their favor. Another thing is that if you really need the sentry, like let's say that you scout out that the supports put a mid ward and your mid wants it, or maybe there's an invis hero mid or something like that, or whatever situation where you might need a sentry, you always have the gold remaining to pick it up. So if I see a situation where I need to buy a sentry, I have that gold ready on me. And as you can see, with this build, saving that 100 gold and having a TP, I don't feel worried about having to posture myself around the side shop. In the past, buying the TP at the beginning of the game has stinted my pull timing, or my ability to stack the pull, because I want to like have that TP right away. So you might see me in the past, I might have postured where I can, after the first wave, I'll run into the side shop, pick up a TP. You can imagine how much time is wasted there where you have to run back and forth between the lane, as well as taking extra harass from the offlaner. And with your limited regen already, you really do not want to go for that kind of play. It's going to screw your lane up Um, the other thought is that I noticed around 3 minutes, I have just enough gold for the like, I can I can either buy boots or upgrade the courier, and for me, there's like a huge like internal conflict that I have there, right? Because you might say to yourself, I should upgrade the courier to be a good teammate. I should, my mid needs it, my lanes need it, and my boots can wait, right? Unfortunately, when you buy a courier, sometimes when your boots are delayed, you might get picked off and delayed even further, or you might miss opportunities as a result of not having boots. So, what's something that people do? I've seen people go for the play where greedier support players, they'll pick up the boots and skip the courier. And when that happens, like, you're constantly pinging your gold, like, hey, I need 100 gold, I need 50 gold, 60 gold to upgrade the courier. Mid's fearing a bottle out, it's walking at like snail's pace because they're trying to refill. Your safe laner needs more regen because it's coming under a lot of pressure. Like, there's a lot of conflicts there. So I know it's a little bit long-winded, but I'm trying to explain my thought process so that you can evaluate the decision on your own, because it's not going to be the right decision every game. But basically, I found out if I can like save the gold I would have bought, I would have spent on a TP, and the gold I would have spent on the sentry, then I'm able to pick up boots and roughly have enough money for the flying courier as well. So it's not going to be that delayed, if at all. Assuming I'm not feeding on the lane, which, you know, unless there's some really awkward situation, I'm probably going to be pretty okay. So that's just a quick tip I have for you guys, you support players out there. It's not an excuse to not buy sentries or evaluate your laning situation. For example, sometimes the pull is necessary. Like, let's take a matchup like Lifestealer versus Bad Rider and the safe lane, and let's say I'm just Rubik, okay? Lifestealer versus Bad Rider, the Lifestealer is going to be generally very well off in this lane because, just small matchup recap here, you can rage off the stacks, and with the stick, you're going to be able to sustain that ability to rage as well as having wounds. And if you pick up like an Oov or anything like that, phase boots, you're going to be able to run down the bat with like another supporter, potentially by yourself. So in situations like that, if my pull is blocked, I'm not really maximizing the lane, because the thought process for me when my safe laner can destroy the offlaner or like handle himself is that, like, I'm gonna come in for assists. Like, I'll come and help him punish the offlaner when like he's overextended or whatever, but I'm gonna really use that time to maximize my own golden experience gain. So I'll like pull the safe lane and farm and stuff like that. So like, if you're in that kind of situation, you might want to have that small camp or whatever camp is blocked to maximize experience. But again, it can be played around. In that situation, exactly, with the Bat Rider or like, let's say a Darkseer, where they can farm the hard camp, that's a situation where I would prefer to have the small camp than the hard camp, because it's much further from the lane and it's not a source that they can farm later. So like, let's say that there's a batter DS and he blocks my small camp. Having a sentry there to deward it would be like ideal, because yeah, like if I pull the hard camp, he's just gonna farm it later, or like he's gonna do a lot of weird shenanigans where he's just messing with my lane. So that's the thought process for self-sufficient kind of lanes, and also in like very specific matchups. Just think of offlaners that can contest those hard camps or not. If they can't contest the hard camps, then like I'm pretty okay just saying, fine, you can have the hard camp, because like you're really not posing a threat to me, so I don't care. And that's a situation where skipping the sentry is okay because you have 2 camps to work with. But yeah, like in the majority of my games, what I notice is that there's a lot of roaming. There's a lot of situations where you want to be online with your boots, like being able to impact the lanes, like react to with TPs for roams from the opponent, turn ganks, or like go for smokes and stuff like that. And like, especially for a hero like Rubik, the boots are your like your blood. It's like not your bloodline, but your boots are there to accelerate your game. Like you're gonna be able to go for ganks where you have a boots advantage on your opponent, and a lot of times with this kind of build, you might actually have the advantage on roamers or the mid, and that can make a difference when it comes to getting those pickoffs. The other thing is that like completing your arcanes is a must. If you don't have arcanes, you can't play Rubik really, or I mean you can with like soaring whatever, but you know what I mean. It's really important to have arcanes as soon as possible. And yeah, generally I like to like be more active on the map because the safe lane just it becomes a it becomes a lane that gets attacked very frequently, and you don't want to be in the crossfire. You'd rather be like creating space elsewhere, making them react, stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of advanced concepts, but you know, if you take anything from this video, just take the idea of the starting build, make it your own, figure out what works for you. Some people don't really use the branch for regen. Some people like having a clarity. Some people find that TP doesn't work well for them. And some people like to have like an extra salve, stuff like that. So it's up to you. Just a quick tip for you guys. I know I say quick and it just goes on forever. It's my style, but yeah. Alright guys, see ya.